Hi there, everybody. Just a quick special edition of Sunday Musings because I know you all have to watch church on TV or maybe you're going to church in person. But hey, just wanted to say a couple words about Valentine's Day. Wanted to show you this picture that we have that's been hanging up down at church, and unfortunately, it fell off the wall because the sticky stuff just kind of dried up. So we got to rehang that. But if you can be anything, be kind. Now, there was the bee buzzing around, but there's also lots of hearts. Hearts. This is the day of hearts, Valentine's Day. And I know there's a lot of things associated with Valentine's Day, giving Valentines, giving candy, giving gifts, all that sort of thing to your loved one. And that's all well and fine. But we have to realize this all does date back to a guy named Valentine. Only it's kind of hard trying to figure out just who Valentine was. We do know there were about 12 different people who went by the name of Valentine who were at some point or another through our Christian history martyred for their faith. And the particular Valentine that we think we get our start with is a Valentine, maybe two of them, we're not sure. They could be the same guy. Again, it's kind of fuzzy, but he lived during the 3rd century, and the Roman emperor at the time wasn't very tolerant of the Christians. And there are a couple different stories, and again, it gets pretty murky, and you can look it up on Wikipedia, and you can see just how crazy it all gets. But the one that has survived the most and is kind of accepted by most people is that Valentine was a bishop, or he was just a priest in a certain area in the Roman Empire, and he had been thrown in prison because he was a Christian, all right? And that wasn't legitimate at that time. Later on, under Constantine, it would be the official religion of the Roman Empire. So go figure that out. But at this time, it wasn't. And he was put in under house arrest in the home of a judge. And he got to talking one night with the judge, talking about his faith, this, that. And the judge, he was not a Christian at all, but he said, look, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If my stepdaughter over here, she's blind. If you can heal her, I'll become a Christian. Guess what? Valentine laid hands on her, prayed for her to receive her sight, and she did. And so not only did that judge, but all 40 or 50 some members of his household, including his slaves, they all got baptized. And kind of a strange story. But then it ends up that Valentine once again goes out and he's arrested because he got caught marrying Christian couples, and it wasn't supposed to be doing that. Part of the reason is once you were married, you were no longer obligated to be a part of the Roman army, and they needed guys in the Roman army, so into the drink he went, and he was there. He wouldn't renounce his faith, so they just beat him up badly. He didn't die, so that's when the emperor said, then off with his head. So he was beheaded. Well, what also gets mixed up in there too is that the jailer said, I got to talking with Valentine while he was in prison yet before his execution, and he said, I have a daughter who's blind, and Valentine healed her. And we don't know if that story gets mixed up with that of the judge, this, that, and the other. It's kind of craziness. The fact of the matter is Valentine stood up for his faith, was martyred for it, and where we get the giving of Valentines, there's a legend that before he was executed, he sent a note to the daughter of the judge, the stepdaughter of the judge that he had healed, and talked about how much that he loved her and hoped that, everything would go well for her. And he signed it, from your Valentine. Now, from then on, it just goes crazy through the ages as to how we get to sending cards and how Cupids get attached to it, this, that, and the other. But hey, it's a lot of fun. But just remember, it did start with someone who stayed true to their faith. and was martyred for their faith, and is indeed celebrated in many of the mainline churches, including the Lutheran Church, as a saint. So, I'm not sure what you're going to do on this Valentine's Day, but enjoy it. And if you have someone special in your life to share it with, do that. But most of all, remember, it is a matter of the heart, our love for God, but especially our love for one another. Blessings be with you this day.